told the staff earlier in the week this game's going to come down to third and fourth downs, and really felt that between that and maybe the turnover margin, but really felt that the third and the fourth downs, third and 1, third and 2, fourth and 1, fourth and 2 is what this game would come down to. And I thought we really got after them on first and second down today. They were able to sustain some drives, and they had 87 plays to our 60. We gained them yards per play, but it's not about that. They held on to the ball and, again, had a couple of long drives and we had lots of opportunity to get off the field on defense. A little bit out of rhythm and out of sync on offense in the first half, came back and did some really good things in the second half. And but the 15-play, the 15-play drive was a killer, and had opportunities again on another 12-play drive to be able to get off the field on some short yardage situations, and hurt for our guys. They fought their butt off. Thought they showed great toughness and resolve. Had a chance to, on a day where we didn't coach them good enough, we didn't play good enough situationally. We still have a chance with the ball to go down and tie the game against a really good football team. Hurt for the guys. They're hurting right now. And but we got to get ourselves up off the mat and respond. We got a lot of football still in front of us. A great challenge here this week. A lot to learn from in a really painful way. The smallest detail, the mistakes that we made. We were a little sloppy and leaky in our tackling and leveraging in the first half on defense. And then again, I thought one of the big plays was they have the ball in the third quarter, fourth down play, where we got a really good call dialed up for play action on 4th and 1, and we got to come outside the block in coverage, and we go inside, and they were able to poke a guy open on a little crack screen. Huge play in the game, and then the late fumble on a punt return that allows them to push their lead to 8 and not 5 on the turnover. Defense responds and holds them to a field goal, but too little, too late. But Xavier Robinson ran the ball with good power, particularly obviously in the second half, and they converted just under. They were on 46% conversion rate on 3rd and 4th down, and we were about 30%. And to me, that was the difference in the game.
Brent, you said earlier in the week, corralling Chambliss was going to hack us off and hack you off. Well, that was almost the story in the game, wasn't it? I mean, his ability to convert on 3rd down. What broke down there?
Yeah, I think again, I didn't think we tackled well. I thought a few times we didn't cage like we needed to rush the quarterback, and then we had some opportunities to make tackles, and he ran through some of our tackles. Guys making plays, and we got to be better. We knew that he had great lower body strength. We saw that in several games this year where he's able to elude the rush, and we got to be better. We had a couple of plays we have spy calls on, and we get kind of lost in the trash, and then we lose leverage on him, and then he breaks the tackle because we lost our leverage. So very painful lesson, and he's a winner. That's what he's done against everybody, and but we needed to play better and have a chance to win. We needed to do a better job against him, and so I didn't have him ready to do that.
I had 9 rushes the first half. Second half, the running game kind of got you back in it. While the change, did they do something different? Why?
Yeah, I think we needed to be a little more patient in the first half, and there's a lot of things that go into it, but we needed to get more movement in the first half, to get confidence in some of that run game, and again, even if it's just body blows. In the second half, we were able to establish that a little bit better.
Brent, after the game last week, you talked about how it felt like a big step forward. You were doing things that maybe you weren't doing a couple of years ago. How does this feel? Does this feel like a step back? Maybe not being able to take advantage today of some things that happened
Yeah, no, I think we missed some opportunity. I don't know, setback, that's for everybody else to say. I certainly, losing ain't ever good, and there's nothing necessarily that, you know, we're not going to be bragging on anything. There's nothing to brag about. We needed to coach them better and play better, be better situationally. We made some critical mistakes in the game, and if the players are making the mistakes on the field, then we got to look at ourselves and what we're asking them to do. You know, but watched the tape already. You know, watched it in real time and watched it on the sideline and watched it again. You know, at halftime, and so. We needed to execute at a better level, and so if we're not executing like we need to, then that comes back to to us as a staff, and we got to do a better job having our guys ready to execute. Cleaner, play better football that way.
Brent, you put them in a lot of bad situations, tackle for loss, incompletions, but long yardage situations seem to kill you all day.
Yeah.
Passing game and his scrambles. What was going on there?
Yeah, just they were better than us. They called better plays and executed better. We needed to execute better on our side and make plays. I thought they made some plays, and we made some, but it's what was typical of the day when we needed to make a play, we got to stop, and then we got a roughing. I have to look at it. I didn't like it in the moment. But we can't leave it in the officials' hands, and that turns into a field goal. And we are on the wrong side of it too often today, and we get there. Those mistakes are magnified.
Brent, Winston Watkins on the other side, he had over 100 receiving yards. How much of a challenge was it to defend him?
Yeah, I thought we had good tight coverage. They made play. The last one, we should have switched up and had our safety on the tight end, number 4, and we didn't get, we actually worked that in practice where we wanted to switch it and didn't get it done. I think there was a different tight end in there, and I think we thought he was a receiver, number 4. But I thought Robert was in great position, and I thought it was a terrific ball, and they made a good play, executed.
What did you think of just the way John played today, especially late in the game? It felt like he just missed on some throws that we've seen.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and go back and look at the tape. I told him there's going to be you're going to hate what you see on tape because of some missed opportunities. Not talking about having to go make a play. I'm just like doing the basics a little cleaner, and so we all going to have some regret, watching the tape.
Brent, it seemed like he was more comfortable throwing downfield today. Do you get that sense from John?
Say it again.
From John, it seemed like he was much more comfortable throwing the ball down.
Yeah, we made some good plays down the field, and he had at times had really good command, and then some other times where maybe we got a little bit rushed.
Brent, Xavier Robinson had a couple electrifying plays, touchdowns. How do you think of his performance and bringing up the run game?
Well, I thought that was, what got us back in the game in the second half. And, ran with good, toughness and power. And I think, as you saw, the stadium gets, excited, and certainly the team does too. They feed off of that. The run game. Thought the pile moved, in our direction. If we clean up a few more things, we get a stop here or there. We take care of the football on the punt return. Maybe it's a different result. I don't live in that world, but I know you're not too far from that either. And but Xavier, the way he played, had a couple of touchdowns. The way he ran the ball was a big part of our ability to have an opportunity to go down and tie it up late in the game.
Brent, you had a lot better chance in the second half, or you played a lot better in the second half. Why do you think that was?
Again, as I said, lots of little things. Just again, our guys are straining. We just didn't play real smart at times in the first half, and I didn't think we got into the kind of rhythm and in sync offensively that we needed to do the things that, from a game plan standpoint, we felt we could do. We didn't do, and as I said, we got to do a better job from a coaching standpoint of having our guys be a little cleaner. But it's when you look at it, they hit a over route early in the first drive, and we worked that 9,000 times, and here it comes. You got to take the game day things that our practice habits got to show up in those game day environment, and they were able to execute it. And we were on the wrong side of that, too often. It again extended some drives and, turned into points.
Not too often does a team be down, have such a quick comeback, change the momentum, you said electrify the crowd, and then not sustain it. Why do you think it didn't sustain, and where'd you feel like you lost?
I thought the fumble on the punt return was critical, and defense responded and held them to a field goal there. And again, in a one-score game, that matters. But we had a chance to, get the ball back with excellent field position, and I thought we had really good momentum, and so it, momentarily it, killed the momentum.
Brent, do you think you should have run more of Robinson?
Well, I mean, I think that I think with the success that he had, I think that's something that's fair.
Did y'all fourth down? Obviously, late in the game, the last throw that John missed, but did
4th and 5.
Yeah, the 4th and 5. Did you think about kicking a field goal? And then
Yeah,
maybe trying to
yeah, we
timeouts
did.
left?
Yeah, we did. Certainly we did.
What was the thought process?
Yeah, again, 4th and 5. Again, we felt strong. We had a good play, drawn up, and there was going to be a cutoff point where we were going to kick the field goal and see if we can get a stop and get the ball back and go back down. So we needed to score, either a touchdown and the 2-point conversion, or going to have to score again anyway. So, but we liked our chances on 4th and 5.
Brent, with go on the road this week to Tennessee, how do you get this group, back up after a tough loss at home?
Yeah, just if we had won, we'd have to bring them back down to earth, and so it's not like this. That's a surprise that we're playing next week. We know that's our schedule, and every week you gotta take the bad with the good. You gotta learn from all of it, and this is a painful one, but this is a team that's got great, strong character, great leadership, highly invested guys, and a group of guys that will respond. So it starts with us as coaches and being able to find a way to get our guys better through this weekend and going into next week. We're going to have to play better, cleaner, more precise going to Tennessee next Saturday night.
Brent, it seemed like they attacked Cortland early in the passing game. What did you think of his game?
Yeah, I thought he did some really good things. I thought he responded, and he was very competitive, made some good plays on the ball.
You had to do some more shuffling on the offensive line. Ryan Foje starting at right tackle. I know you have to watch the film, but it felt like he kind of held up.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he did. I thought he looked good. As you're watching all of it play out, thought he protected good, and thought he played with confidence. And you have to watch the tape, like you said, to really get a good evaluation of him. But I didn't see him in there getting exposed necessarily.
How difficult has that made it? This is the second year in a row where you've had to shuffle quite a bit up front on the offensive line. How difficult has that been to get some cohesion?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you lose a starter, the next guy usually isn't quite as good. But Foje held up well, and I think maybe some of the issues that I'm not sure that had anything to do with that. So I'm not going to lean on that right now. But it's always good to have a good, healthy team.
Brent, do you think John's injury is still a factor, either physically or mentally?
I don't know. I don't know. I have to ask him. But he's practiced well, and he's thrown with good accuracy, and has made good decisions. And I do think that's still a process of getting completely and fully healed. But I'm not sure if he has the limitations or not. Again, his velocity is good. His accuracy has been really good. So I haven't seen, the limitations at practice.
Is that something will be healed before the season's done? Is that fully healed in his hand, or is that how long is that going to take?
Well, I think everybody's injury, they heal differently.
Brent gave up a touchdown in the first quarter. I don't believe this 2025 Sooners have given up a touchdown in the first quarter until this game. And so I'm just wondering, how was the level of focus in the first quarter?
Our focus is great. I think our focus is great. Our guys are, again, very excited to compete, and not just excited, but detailed and prepared. And I thought, again, some little things that, that's a very explosive group that they saw today, and I think there'll be some. As we look back at it, we'll regret having some missed opportunities, that are there. So, again, any mistakes that you make, you're playing really good people are going to be magnified, and but like I said, proud of our guys with their fight and their toughness, and gave us a chance to win there late.
Coach, Kobe McKenzie went down early on in the game. How much did that affect your defense?
What?
Kobe McKenzie.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe's he's a leader. He's a guy that does a really good job from getting guys into all the right checks. You don't have 9,000 checks every play, but there's some small things detail-wise that are really important. So he's been, I would call him elite through the first 7 games of the season at getting us into the right calls. And so anytime you got a guy like that that's out from a leadership and playmaking and consistency, it can be potentially an issue. But I thought the guys came in and fought and competed, though, replacing him.
You talked about just the injuries on the offensive line. Is there a chance that Sexton comes back over the next few weeks?
We'll see what that looks like. I think he still has another year to play after this year too, so we have some options there, and so at the appropriate time we'll address that. Right.
Thanks.
Yep.